Alright, so we are going to continue on with the Galaga style game. So if I hit play, you can see basically I have this thing going, and it's a thing. Hooray. One of the settings I had before that I ended up taking off was if you select the shot, you'll see that on shot shoot weight, I think I had like 2.5. Switch that to 0. It works a little bit better actually, because the enemy is itself has a fire rate, so that will control the shot weight. So we actually can leave that at 5 or whatever. But on this one, just make sure that the shoot weight is 0. Okay. All right. So we got this. This looks all fine. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and make a start screen, just because that's like the first obvious thing to do. Actually, you know what? Let's not do that. We'll do that at the end. So let's go through, and I need a way to keep track of score. So first thing I need to do is have some sort of representation of a score. So I'm going to go to create, and I will create a UI object, and it will be text, and I will just call it like score, which is fine. And I'm just going to write score in here too, just so I know what it is, which is also fine. And I'll make it 32, which means this isn't big enough. And we'll do 300 by 50. We'll make sure it's centered, and I'm going to click on this and hold Alt and Shift to make it go to the bottom. Let's see, you should see it. Okay, I can see it in the game view here. And then I'm just going to take the Y position to, like, we'll try 50. All right. And that looks fine. Now one of the things I would like to do is that you see it's Arial. I don't really like that font. It's kind of ugly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I'm going to make a new folder, create folder, and we'll call this fonts. And then I'm going to go on the interwebs here, and I will type in dafont.com, DAFONT.com. And I'm going to find a font I like for what I'm doing. So there's all sorts of different fonts here. Let me see, I'm doing like kind of an old school, so let's do old school, and it's got to be like pixelated. So let's see, basic sans serif fixed width. Let's try fixed width. Here we go. We'll do this one. I don't know. So I'm going to download, and it's going to, I'll hit save file. It's going to show up here. All right, and I am going to go ahead and extract all. Here it is, and what I'm going to do is, in my folder here, I am going to take these fonts, and I'm going to drop them into my fonts folder. And now I can use those on my text elements. So right where it says Arial, hit the little asterisk, and you can see I have all these options. And I'm going to go ahead and choose the bold version, and there you go. Now it says score. And I'll just do score 0. Okay, so there you go. That looks pretty good. All right, so we got that. Now what I need to do is make this, keep score. So what I have currently is I have this shoot script, right? And if you look, this is the one that he shoots. The problem with that is that it kills the objects, but it doesn't keep score of how many it hits. So I'm going to open this up by double-clicking on it, and we're going to basically update it. Okay, so I have these two variables here. That's fine. I'm going to do a variable called game controller, and all right, actually, let's not do this yet. We'll come back to this one. We're gonna make a new script called UI controller. So I'm gonna create JavaScript and we're going to call it UI controller. And this is basically script, and this is going to control our UI elements. So this thing here. All right, open this up, and I'm going to go ahead and we are going to, because this is going to do UI stuff, I'm going to import Unity engine .ui. This needs to be done in order to interact with the UI elements, the user interface elements, because it's a new item score. So I'm going to have the score, and that will obviously be an int because it's how many I hit. We're also going to have a variable called score text, which is going to be the text element that's going to display my score. Okay, so that's a little written here. That's this. This is a text object. All right, I don't need start or update. I don't need any of that stuff. What I do need is a function, and I'm gonna make a custom one called add to score. And basically, it's gonna be a really simple thing. And it's gonna say score plus plus, which means it's gonna increment the score. So we can actually, I'm gonna go ahead and make this 0 so that we start at 0. So if it plus plus is it, it's going to make it 1 for the first time, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. Then we're going to do score text. So the text component of that score text object is going to be, and I'm going to set this equal to, and I'm just going to write, we'll just write score space, boom, and we're going to concatenate, and then I'm just going to write the score. So basically, it's just going to put into score this amount. All right, so relatively simple. So I'm going to take this UI controller, and I'm going to drop it onto my game controller, and then score text is going to be this. Okay. Now, right off the bat, it's not going to do anything for me because there's nothing telling it to change the score. So now what I need to do is send stuff. This will save. I don't really know what any of this stuff is. I don't remember. Try to make a point to delete all this. So we don't need this one either. Okay, so let's go to shoot script. Open that puppy back up. Okay. So on shoot script, now I need to do the thing. So I want to have happen is that when it shoots, if it hits something, it's going to send to the game controller the score. Okay, that specific script. So I'm going to do a variable game controller game object and variable UI controller, and this is actually going to hold the UI controller script. Okay. Now I'm going to add a couple of scripts in here. So I'm going to do, basically I need to store into this game controller object the game controller itself. So to do that, I can't drop and drag it because this is going to go on an instance. So what I'm going to do is do game controller. I'm going to make this variable, and I'm going to store, sorry, not this. I'm going to store game object dot find. It's going to find game objects with the name game controller, okay, which is what this is named. So it's going to look for that game object, okay, and it's going to store it into game controller. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do UI controller script is going to be game controller, because it's part of game controller is my UI script. So if you look, there's UI controller script. So it's going to say UI, it's going to say game controller script, and then I'm going to do get component dot. So it's going to get the component called UI controller script. Oops. So it's going to take the UI controller script, and it's gonna get the component inside of game controller called UI controller script and store it inside of this variable. Okay, so now I can access that script specifically in order to adjust the current score. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I need to do a couple of things. I'm going to do if other dot tag, because if you remember before, I made it so that when they shoot the computers, the things that the bad enemy throws, I made them called enemy. Well, I don't want it when I kill the enemy. I don't want to count points for shooting those. I just want to count points for the enemy shooting. So I'm going to make a tag called shot, and it's going to say if you see shot, it's just going to go ahead and do the same thing as this. It's just going to destroy it, but that's all it's going to do. Okay, so it's going to destroy other game object. So it does the same thing as this one currently. And actually, I'm going to save this real quick. See if we have any weird errors. And we do. So cannot find member. Let's see. Console. And it says 13.37. Okay. So game object. Oh, that's got to be a capital F. Not bad. Let's see. See, it says, did you mean find? It's smarter than I am. UI controller script. Okay, unknown identifier UI controller script. So that's 14. UI. Oh, see, I didn't write script up here. Okay, Control S. And come on, baby. Okay. We did that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my project. I'm going to go down here. And I'm going to go to prefabs. I'm going to grab the shot here. And I'm going to go ahead and, if you look right now, I made the tag enemy, which means it's going to add to the score if I shoot this. I want to make a new tag. I'm add tag. And we'll hit plus. And I'm going to call it shot. All right. And then I'm going to go back to prefabs again because it doesn't actually attach it. Then we're going to go shot. Okay. Good. Now, when it does shot, it'll destroy it, just like it did before. But we're going to actually add more to this that's going to add to the score. So before it destroys it, I'm just going to go UI controller script dot add to score, like that. Okay, and basically what that's going to do is that if you look, I put this add to score function, so it's going to look for the UI controller script, which I get from get component. First, I found the game controller using this. I stored it in there. Then, inside of the game controller, I got the specific component, the UI controller script, okay, which is this script here, and I stored it in this. Then, using that here, I basically adjusted one of the properties called add, or I called the function add to score. That's part of that script, which is the only function in the script currently. So add to score. So it's gonna call that, and then it's gonna go ahead and destroy that. Okay. So we'll save that. And now, when I go to kill things, I can shoot the computer, but you see it won't add to the score, but he will. So if I go here, it won't add them, but it'll add. Looks like it added them or something. I'm not sure. Oh crap, I died. But anyway, so that will add to the score. So yay! All right. So now we got that going. That all looks pretty good. The last thing I need to do basically is just have the game end. And we will set that up on the next video. And then we need to basically make a victory condition, which in our case is just going to be you just go till you die. And we need to set a start screen. Both of things should be relatively simple.